Yo, hold on. My mic broke. My actual like good mic that I use for videos. So give me a second. Let me let me plug this in real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, I have no idea what's going on right now, but stuff is breaking constantly and it's kind of annoying. My webcam also broke. Here, let me do this. I have to switch to the grungy one because my fucking phone one wouldn't work. I don't know what's going on. Something is just not working. This is the mic that I normally use, using my headphone one right now. I don't know what's going on. I probably should have restarted my computer before the stream. This is super weird. I don't know what's going on. But we're using the webcam straight from 1990 right now because I can't get my phone one to work. The camera honestly is a vibe. You know, it kind of is. If I had like a VHS overlay that just said like recording or something in like one of the corners, it might look cool. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like this is supposed to have like a light on, but it doesn't. And like I just replugged it, didn't do anything. I think my computer is just not having it today. So that's unfortunate. Might have something to do with my USB hub actually. Let me check. I think it might have to do with that. Here, replug this. Dude. Yeah, look at that. I replugged it. And now it's not working. Everything here. Everything that I replug is breaking. Everything. What is this? Like, what? Okay, well, here's what I'll do. It shouldn't make... Here, what is this? This is my light. This is my mic. Okay. It shouldn't make too much of a difference if I do this and then this, right? Or is this going to break it too? My whole, like, USB, like, center thing, like, on the top of my PC is just broken, dude. Like, I bet you if I replug my headset, that'll stop working too. Okay, look, we'll just get started. Sorry about the delay. Yeah, my computer's very cursed. Okay. Sorry. But I don't want to hold you guys up anymore, so let's just get to the point. Let's do the feedback stream. So, if you're new to these streams, it normally doesn't look like this, but submissions are currently closed, but if you want to submit, join the Discord and submit to #feedbackstream at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be going over all the sentence tracks first, then all of the courts, and then everyone else who submitted to the stream. If there's a queue of donation skips, we'll alternate between dono skips and normal submissions. We'll try to fill up about 2 hours of content. This is for constructive criticism purposes only, so I'm only trying to help you out. And we do these streams every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. All right. Up first, we have Mr. Japan, Mr. Japanese, with These Nuts Are Loyal, Mario. All right, let's get it. Yeah, there's like no Senate submissions this week, which is kind of cool. So, and you're first. Sonic 6 so far. Okay, I was kind of expecting that to like I think you set it up here to sound like a drop when it didn't actually deliver that way. So I wish the setup was more catered towards the drop hitting like right there on the dot, rather than kind of like a or like, I don't know, you kind of have to manage the expectation because you want it to go into this break thing, right? But that didn't happen, and so especially with that super hype fill, I felt like it was going to go into it like a drop, but then not quite also. So you gotta kind of set it up a little bit, either less hype or more hype, and just remove this part. Either or. Yeah. Or just add like an impact there as well. That would help a lot. Fill up behind a bit. Nice Reese. Oh, this one! I think you need a bit more like during those like parts. You kind of need like some kind of beat indicator. Try to like maybe add like some like rides or crashes just on like the coordinates, and that way you keep the beat going a bit better. Just add a little bit more like elements, or like maybe a fill during that part, and that way it'll flow a bit nicely, a bit more nicely. I think it fills the call there. Sorry, Kipo. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's super fast-paced these days. I apologize. Tempo change? That's that was like a double fake out. We just got double fake outed. Look at this. Like fake out one. And then the came in, and I was expecting, okay, now it's going to drop, right? But then it didn't drop. So, see, that's a tough one, because you can't. Now you kind of got to decide which do you want to do. Do you want to do like a really long fake out, or do you want to do like, I don't know, like. Not sure if this fake out was the call. Like, Also, like, I'm noticing like your transitions are super like, they just kind of like happen, and then like you like cut it off. So like, look at this for example, right here. So you have all these elements kind of like sweeping into this like part where you have the but you don't really have anything that smoothly gets rid of that excess high end, if that makes sense. So you kind of like sweep in all this high end, like kind of mid-range stuff, kind of like noisy stuff, right? But then when the actual like part, right, hits, that's when it kind of like loses that I don't know, the transition just doesn't flow smoothly because of that. Yeah, I think you know what I mean, right? Fucking tempo changes. Very vibey. If you want the feedback rule, it's in hashtag server in the Discord server. It's like in announcements. You got to scroll up a bit, or like check the pins, and then you'll find it. We're gonna get blue ball here. Yeah, Mr. Japan. This is very nice. I like what you're doing. You've got a very cool idea. Like you're trying to kind of like have like sections where like everything just kind of cuts out, and because of that you're like leading it into like a very like impactful section. And I like that you're doing that. That's a very cool like way to play with contrast. So yeah. I would suggest like work a bit on like focus on your transitions a bit. I think that is something you can work on a lot. Think about like with drums, if you have drums coming in, like add some fills and stuff. Like especially during these initial parts. I think right there is a good place for like a like just a straight up like drum fill. Oh, Gabe the Legend with $1. Let's go. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate you. That's what a legendary what do you call that? Like a um there's a word for this that I'm trying to think of, but I don't know what it is. It's basically it's like a not like a legion, but it's no, it's like a it's like you know like the legend of Gabe, but then like in other words, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, but it's my pleasure. Hey, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. You're always just tuning in, you know, leaving your mark, and I like that. I have big respect for that. Thank you so much for the $1 donation, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, myth, kinda. Kind of what I'm thinking of. It's I don't know. There's like a specific word for it, but whatever. Yeah, especially like during those parts, it just needs a bit of like a drum fill, and yeah, that'll fix all your problems. But yeah, Mr. Japan, very nicely put together. I think transitions and I just talked. Whatever. You get the point. Thank you for sending this in, Mr. Japan. Lovely tune. Let's go to the next one. All right. Up next, we have Ganamed with Effin' sound design secret leaked. No samples used. Ooh. He says in the description, I don't have any serious work in progress, so I'm sending this an 8-bar drop. I'm probably going to give away the FLP for free once I polish it, so yeah, I'm just advertising my channel at this point. Sorry, Nettie. No problem. You make great videos, man. Let's go. That's hot, dude. Well, 8-bar drop it was. Yo, and Keepo World with a £2. Let's go. I love it when your face lines up when you get money. Hey, I mean, it's just see with donations, like I'm just not used to people like just willing to give me their earned money. Just they're just like, here, have it. So it's just like the most sincere gesture of kindness that I can possibly receive, and I appreciate everyone who does that. So yeah, thank you. Keep our world for the £2 means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, Ganamed, this is fucking nice. I would say like in the first half there could be a bit more stereo. It's fine to be honest. I mean like it's not like a problem, but I think a little bit more width in the stereo would like enhance it a lot. Like something I like to do a lot here, I can show you in Ableton, is I have a rack, a high-end stereo chorus rack. I use this all the time, right? Is I'll like split the high end into like these two bands. You see how this kind of like will move along with like where I put it. I like to kind of just like put it like here-ish and then have a chorus on the high end, and that'll like if you distort your signal after that point, you get like a super like crunchy texture. I think if you do that, like you'll just have like this high end that's just constantly panning around, and that'll create like a really nice texture. Also, I just noticed my face cam isn't here. Let me change that. Boom. Hi. Okay. Boom. Yeah. So I think that'll create a very nice texture, and I think you should look into that. Yeah. So high-end stereo, of course, I use this all the time for the crunchy textures. Like I said, let's go back. Boom. Ooh, Bob approved. Let's go. Let me. Yeah. I probably should have done this as well. My my face cam is over the thing. Bob approved. There you go. Let me put that here. All right, boom. There we go. Oh my God! All the donos, they're rolling in, dude. Yo, Mr. Beff, Mr. Throw Me with a $6.99. Let's go. I can't rebuy my membership until the next week. Sorry, Ned, sir. Here's compensation. Hey, no worries, Mr. Sir. That is just fine. Thank you so much for the $6.99. You legend. Thank you so much. Let's go. Pog. Mr. Throw Me. Thank you. What's... Thank you again. Nedlund, who do you think will win today's football match, England or Denmark? See, I don't know much about. I'm assuming you mean like soccer, right? Yeah, it would be soccer. I don't know much about soccer. I will be honest. So I couldn't tell you, but I would say no. I can't make an educate. It's literally like guessing the answer to a math problem without doing the math. So like I can't say that. I do apologize. It'd be like not seeing an equation but knowing the answer is either A or B, and then having to guess which one it is. It is a 50-50 guess. I don't know which is better, so I do apologize. Anyway, Ganamed popped off. This is very nice. Yeah, I think like I said, main thing is stereo. I feel like you might have some phase issues actually. Right here on this bass. Like these two like basses right here. Check for phase issues because it sounds like they're like slightly phasing a bit. Yeah. That is all though. And it sounds very lovely besides those things. Anyway, Mr. Ganamed, very nicely put together. Let's go to the next one. All right, up next we have Psycat with Ascension, read description. Nettie, please listen to the nice outro. All right. I don't know anything about soccer either. I'm kind of spacing out a bit, and that's because there's like not really much going on. I think you should definitely try to introduce some more elements that like spark the interest of the listener. Let's go, I'm live from the treadmill. Let's go, dude. Getting a workout in while watching the feedback stream. Let's go to the waveform. Okay. It doesn't really have that much punch, and that's because of the way you kind of brought in this bass. It's kind of like under delivering a bit when this eventually comes in, and that's because you kind of need to fatten up the little like laser thing a bit more, or just like add layers and stuff to kind of make it hit a bit harder. Right now, you're not really getting that. Like the way you make fake outs work is by introducing contrast, and right now there's not really much contrast going on. So yeah, in this case I wouldn't say that it quite works because of that reason. And you're also just using the same bass in the actual drop as the fake out without any changes to it. That's like kind of just the reason why it's not very impactful. I feel like it could also use some quarter note like crash cymbals and stuff. Oh, you're just walking right now. Okay. Running into a wall momentarily. Bet. Good luck with that. Yeah, just like not that interesting of like an intro and midsection, I think. Just needs more stuff.
Nobody move till I say so.
This is better. Just also like no real like stereo field either. I think you kind of need some. You could probably introduce some like ambient elements with like ping pong delay on them and stuff and get them to like pan around nicely. But right now there's not really any of that going on. I will run full speed at the glass window. Do not test my capability. It also just needs more low mids. Right now you don't really have any low mid layers. Maybe just like a gritty base, like a gritty. Do I have this? Do I have these loaded up? Yeah. You kind of need like this kind of like mid-range frequencies, like right here, like here-ish. You're kind of lacking that. Oh wait, you can't see that. Oops. Boom. Here, like this. You need that, right? You need that kind of like grunginess to it, I think. And right now you just don't really have that, unfortunately. So definitely try to add like some extra layers in general. Like specifically, I'd say the low mids, but just in general to kind of fatten it up a bit more. And right now that's just not quite there.
Your bones are scraped.
Yeah, some more details as well, like some really small, like you know, tiny little ear candy stuffs would really help a lot.
Your bones are scraped clean by the desolate wind. Your vault will now surely die as you have.
This reminds me of this vocal reminds me of that one SpongeBob episode where it's like is it like the power of within? I don't know what it's called in English, but I know the Dutch thing. It's like innerlijke kracht. If anyone knows that episode, it's like the one where the master of a martial art is like on like a mountain, and then he's like the power within or something like that, and then he's like dancing. It reminds me of that for some reason.
Of the afterlife is all that awaits you now. May you find more peace in that world than you found in this one.
Very nice. Is it the power of within? I think it is, right? Whatever. Anyway, I think the mix is really good on this, actually. Your sub is well mixed. There's no like clipping issues or anything. I think maybe the intro is a bit on the quiet side, but the drops are like well mixed, I think. I wish there's a bit more, I don't know if I said this already, but like hi-hats on like the quarter notes and stuff. Right now you just kind of have this, you know, that kind of flow, but as soon as you bring in like quarter note hi-hats and stuff, you kind of start doing this instead of this. You know, it's more energetic that way. So try to do that. Yeah. Also, maybe like reference some like sudden death stuff. He'll probably like kind of have like a feel like he does like these really like stompy things that if you are trying to like keep this like kind of like slow flow going on, then you know, you reference some of his stuff because he does like these like super stompy drums, and like that might help you out a lot. So yeah. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. Yeah, it is the power within. Okay. But yeah. Psycat with Ascension. Very nice. Excuse me. All right. Up next we have Kino with Goob. Let's go. Thank you. I think the mix down is a bit weird on this. It's like kind of like it's like not mono, but it's also not stereo. Like I think you just need more like a clearer stereo field. Right now you just kind of have like a super like narrow but like existent stereo field, so it's not perfectly mono or something, but it's like slightly stereo. You make it like nice and wide, especially that main like yo bass, you know what I mean? It's also not super like clear in the mix, like it's kind of like hidden behind a lot of elements, and I feel like it could help to like bring it out in a way. Here, I'll like show this in Ableton. Also, I saw the description, so I'll go over that in a second. But yeah, like I don't really have here Joby's sample pack. Let's get a little bass. Yeah, let's use this. Just pretend this is your bass, right? If you have this over like this thing. This might be like a really bad example. I don't know yet. Yeah, I think it's fair enough. So let's just do this, right? Let's chop it real quick. Do this. Boom. Okay. So you kind of need to, if you're layering it like this, just pretend like, just pretend for a second that this is like not, just pretend like it sounds crowded, right? Like you can pretty clearly hear the Joby bass. But anyway, what I think you should do to your main, like with your main bass is find like the main kind of like fundamental peak where your bass hits. So I'd say it's like here, and like maybe here. So what I'd do then is you could like do this, invert the scale, and then like I cut it, so Control X, and then slap it onto the other bass, like this. It goes from that to this, and now if you play it, it'll be super clear. So you kind of look for the peaks in the EQ, right, and then try to match that and cut it out of your other basses, and then it'll really like make it easier to yeah, you kind of get what I mean, right? Like it'll shine through and it makes it a little bit better. So try doing that. That'll help a lot. It also sounds a bit compressed. Like it sounds like you have like a lot of reverb and not like a lot of reverb, but like on like the main elements. So it's kind of crowding it up a lot. Mark scored. Okay, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Yeah, kind of the same thing applied. I think mainly the main thing that's like holding you back right now is just the mix down. Like the arrangement is really good. The sound design is really good. Just like I think reduce some of the reverb like wet amount. Like reverb should be pretty subtle, right? I think in general, like unless you're doing like reverb sweeps and stuff, like that's a whole different thing. But if you're using like a reverb, you kind of have to use it a bit more subtly in your case. And I wouldn't really use it to like you should like barely notice it, in my opinion. Sometimes it works better than others, but yeah. In the description, Kino said, "Hey Ned, aside from general feedback, can you do a quick run through of how to approach intros with heavy dubstep?" So, here, I'll read the whole thing. When writing melodic stuff, it's pretty easy because you have clear progression and motif, but with atonal stuff like this, I'm unsure of how to write intros that actually cohesively flow into the drop without sounding unrelated or forced, you know? Okay, so here's where you kind of got to get creative, right? If you have a super heavy drop, you kind of have to, like, you have to treat the drop and the intro separately, and like don't really like lump them in the same group if you're trying to like songwrite it, if that makes sense. So that's why you'll oftentimes see like Murata and stuff just having like a completely different thing for the intro, and then the drop is like the most heavy shit ever, right? What I tend to do with that is I'll write some like, you know, like really dissonant intro stuff, you know, whatever, like do my thing. But then I'll have a build up that kind of has elements of both the intro and the drop in them. And so what that does is it'll kind of lead better into the drop. So you could probably reference I think Murata, what's the title? It's Bathery. Does this pretty well. He has like the super like it has like a pretty melodic intro, but then it just kind of out of nowhere ish kind of goes into that like super heavy thing that you hear. So yeah, I just kind of basically go from melodic, like completely separate idea, melodic, to build up that has features of the drop in it. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. I completely like see what you mean with that. It's kind of hard to make that flow well. But yeah. Fuck. But yeah. Anyway, Kino, very nice. Definitely work on your mix downs, and you'll get your music sounding a lot better. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. All right. Up next, we have Katoa with Robot Love. Let's go. The poop sock is infiltrating the Vatican, ending world hunger. Kind of cool so far. what you're doing with the sound design. This is sounding cool. However, it doesn't quite pack enough punch. So you've got a super hype build up, right? Then you have a fake out, but you still got to live up to this build up, right? So I'm like, and then it's just not quite there. You need to add some like fat, like throw every like processing thing that'll beefen up a sound onto your main bass thing and just crank it, like absolutely crank that thing. Like what I would do is like, you know, this is just me, so don't like copy it. Do what you see fit, right? But what I would do is add like a fat rack, like an amp, saturator or something, like another OTT, another fat rack, and then you got this like super fat, like you already have this, and like this is just a saw wave, you know. And you know, you could do this with like you know, super cranked, get that going. I wonder what this would sound like. Oh shit. Just kind of curious. Ooh. That's kind of nasty. That's kind of nasty. That's kind of nasty. Sorry, I got very off track. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, adding a few fat racks, a few amps, you know what I'm saying? It'll help a lot. Yo, Dead Rabbit with the $10. Yeah, boy, let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you with the $10. Thank you so much, Dead Rabbit. You're too kind. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to send me a tune or something, feel free to do so. Shoot me a Discord DM. I'd be happy to take a listen. Go. Thank you for the $10, dude. Like in the drums though, I wish there was a bit more cymbal presence. So like, you know, crashes, hi-hats, stuff like that. Nothing this week. Dude, you're too kind. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Just throwing out $10 for the hell of it. I appreciate that, man. Big thank you. I feel like if you're gonna do like a second drop, you really need to have different synths going on. You kind of have a double drop thing going on, so you need to like really like take everything that you have here and just completely throw it around. Like make it sound like the same track, of course, but like, you know, get some different synths going on, get some different sound design. Right now you're kind of just doing the little octave thingy, but you've kind of done that in this drop as well. Like this could pass as the same drop, which is not exactly what you want because you're trying to make it sound different, right? So yeah. Still trying to work on a track, very early stages right now. Okay, bet. I'd love to hear that sometime. I like this though. I wish there was a bit more dissonance, right? Like it helps to have dissonance because it'll like make something a little bit more like, you know, evil sounding and like twisted, and I think that's kind of what you're going for. But right now there's just none of that really. You know, I think something I just kind of picked up one day and now is like my most prominent like sound design thing ever is using a frequency shifter will make it like instantly take anything that's like, you know, whatever and make it dissonant, right? So we can go to this. Is that a D? Am I pro gamer? It's a D. Let's go. Okay, so let's just pretend like I'm copying your flow here, right? Let me like disable this. So like, boom. Okay. Pretend like that's your flow, right? So if I take a frequency shifter instantly cool. Like, that's pretty cool. You know, you just instantly have a way more, like, dissonant and evil sounding sound. And, like, that kind of stuff just drastically helps with making your track sound way more interesting. Yeah. Netty without a frequency shifter is like writing without letters. Exactly, dude. What's poppin', Samuel? How you doing? When your phone goes off in a co-op type beat. Yeah, pretty much. This is nice. Ooh. Oh, this is lovely. Really nice. Solid midsection. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like specifically like frequency shift stuff. I was just more making a point about like how it'll like having just like adding like one or two effects can like easily make your track way more dissonant and, you know, heavy sounding. So it's not necessarily that you should frequency shift your main bass. It's just like something I would do personally to make it more interesting. That yeah, you don't do what you want obviously, but that's what I would do. Ooh. Nice. Yeah, definitely still some more beef. It definitely needs more beef, like without a doubt, right? But you know, on its own, it sounds pretty dope. I like it. Add a crunchy layer. Yeah, I would recommend adding a crunchy layer, but I think with enough processing, you could probably just take your sub bass as it is right now and just crunch it up and make it like your own thing. But yeah, making a mid bass layer would probably be better in this case because you have a pretty clean sub. So I wouldn't like, you know, tell you to add effects to make it like to absolutely ruin the clean sub that you have. But yeah, in general, I would say add more yeah, beef to your main bass. Dissonance helps a lot if you're trying to go for that dubsteppy sound. If you're still trying to make a melodic track, then don't make it dissonant, probably, right? But yeah, I think messing with like sound designing in that manner would really help you make your tracks more interesting. So yeah, Katoa with Robot Love, very nice. Sounds very dope, especially that midsection. I like that a lot. Yeah, very nice. Up next we have Last Disease with yeah V6. Read description, please. Thanks. All right. I have a weird problem in that. Oh shit, yo, it didn't even go through yet. Oh, there it is. Silvio Music with a $10. Let's go. My only request is to play the next song before mine. My only request is to play the next song before. I don't have the brain processing power to to process that. I don't know what that means. Do you have like a link or something that you can play? Because then I would just that would make this. Oh, there you are. I'm not sure what you mean. Hey, you know what? Let me know. Like, I think he means to finish this song and then play Silvio's song. Play the next song before. Oh, I got you. I see what you mean. I'm big braining right now. All right. Anyway, Last Disease. Yeah, V60. Oh, wait, I didn't read this. I have a weird problem in that if I play the song through my phone speakers, through my phone on my headphones, or on my laptop through my headphones, it sounds different on all three media. Why is that? Yes, I probably won't word this well. So I think I see what you mean. Like, if it sounds different on... Yeah, I mean, that could be... we'll listen to this in a second, but it could be a few things. Phase issues, just the fact that it's, like, different platforms or whatever, but we'll see. Check if your sub is mono or not, because it sounds like it could be stereo if that's what you're talking about. I'm just looking out for phase issues right now to see. I'm not great at spotting sub phase issues, but yeah. Is there any other ways or techniques to make stuff dissonance? Yeah, you can do like detuning stuff. There's so many ways, man. It's hard to point them out specifically. Kind of, yeah. I can't really like tell you exactly what to do there. Present didn't drop mostly. Okay, gotcha. I'm not too sure about that kick here. It sounds a bit like kind of like in the like. It sounds like there's no actual low end to it, and I wish there was kind of a bit more low end to it, and like some side chaining. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Because right now it's just kind of like a, you know, sub sounds like it's pulsing. That's probably just like what happens when you play Reese. Yeah, Dead Rabbit, since you're in the car, can you hear the sub? Because we gotta spot some phasing issues. Can you hear the sub? Very cool. Okay. Sub has way too much mid-range. Interesting. Yeah, I can kind of hear that actually. There's a lot of like this kind of frequency range here. Let's use this example again. By no means is this accurate to what your bass sounds like. However, it's the best we got. Right. So let's just pretend like this is your bass, right? We can just do this for accuracy's sake. I think you have a bit too much of this, like these like peaks. Try to keep it to just your main peak. Like I would just kind of EQ this out, and then you just have this. Just have a clean sub. And yeah, make sure you have a mono sub. And if you're using Ableton, I'm not sure if you're using Ableton or FL or whatever, but make sure that like this is bad. You don't want this, right? This is basically what I just did. Is I switched it to mid-side EQ, then I switched it to this side. So basically, this is detecting anything that's stereo. If I cut this out, it'll become mono, right? So you don't want any sub on the sides. Like that's bad because it'll cause phasing issues. FL, okay, got you. So I don't know how you do this in FL then, but you don't want these like ultra big peaks. If you have like that is sucky. No, but yeah, you get the point, right? Phasing issues equals bad because they can cancel out, you know, your left and right ear. I should probably like go in depth and explain this a bit, right? Let's do this. Okay. So, phasing issues, right? Let's say you have two speakers. Like this is one speaker. Boom. This is one speaker, and then you have another one here. Like that. Beautiful drawing. Am I right, guys? I'm sure I'm right. Okay, so, and you're like sitting here, right? You're like a happy little camper. You're listening to the sub. Now, if you have a so let's get this out of the way, right? Stereo. What causes stereo-ness is the difference in signals between your left and right ear. Okay, so if you have two speakers, that can create stereo because they can output different sounds. Now, if you have this speaker playing like a sine wave like this, then and you know it's coming towards you, but you have another one that's going like this. These sound different, right? So what's going to happen is these are going to play, and if you're familiar with mathematics, right, you'll see that these will cancel each other out. Basically, these will cause destructive interference and cancel each other out in the sub. So you don't want that, because then you just straight up won't hear the sub. Joe, welcome again to the Senate of Netties. Poggers, thank you so much, Mr. Siri. Fixed, in fact. Great drawing, thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah. These will cancel each other out because of destructive interference. So you know these two will just like they'll cause just a flat line like this, and so you won't hear it. That's why stereo sub sucks. That's why you never want stereo sub. So long story short, make your subs mono. It's just it will never sound like on headphones. Okay, it might sound okay, but never ever on speakers will it sound good, especially like in like a live environment. Like imagine you're like in a club, and then the speakers are just canceling each other out, so you just don't hear any of the sub, right? You don't want that. So yeah, that's my explanation of how stereo sub works. Hopefully that was educational to some degree. Anyway, yeah, very important. I'm also looking for a bit more cymbal presence here. Like you kind of have just like the boom, but the problem with doing that is it's not very like energetic, and that's fine. You don't want maybe you don't want it to be like that, but I think even just having crashes on like the kick and the snare, it would just help so much with kind of like bringing in the high end from those crashes and just filling it in a little bit nicer. You've also got some big clipping on the kick there. Be sure you don't. I would in this like in your style here, this like super like crazy like dungeony style. I would try to kind of take out a bit of a low end from your kick and just make sure that doesn't clip, because I think it's kind of important to have a clean mix in this one. I'm trying to beat Minecraft, but my two speakers try to stop me. I'm not really sure what key this is in. So I'm thinking it's right? Like it sounds in key, but I can't tell like I think right now you're not really like all the notes are in key, but you don't really have like a specific like what chord in the scale are you playing, you know? G sharp minor. Okay. Yeah, I mean I feel like that would have to be a bit more clear, because right now you don't like I'm not hearing like I'm going like way too in depth with this. But oops. But like, you know, if you have a piano, right? And you play a chord like let's say C minor. This is okay. You can tell what key this is in. C minor, right? Like very recognizable. If you're in D sharp, right? Right. D sharp. I know people call it E flat. I like sharps because Ableton uses sharps, right? I'll call it sharp. Right now it just sounds like you're kind of like moving notes around in a way that it makes it hard to tell if this is like the one chord, you know what I mean? Like the root note. And I kind of wish it was a bit more like clear and like a bit closer to the actual like chord that you are trying to play, instead of kind of using these like spicy notes like over the top. You just, you know what I'm saying? I hope that's clear what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, let's go back. Not the only one who prefers sharp. Yeah, no. It's like if I look at a piano keyboard and I see like the black keys, I instantly think of sharp, like D sharp or like A sharp or whatever. Like I don't think like D or like E flat. That's not. I don't associate the keys with that. Yeah, flats are better for sheet music for whatever reason. Everyone just goes with flats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta think about this one. I need to take a good hard think about this one.
Yeah.
It kind of just sounds like he took this midsection and just like slapped it on the drop. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was a good or bad reaction. I wouldn't go as far as to call it good. I'll be honest with you, man. I think, I don't think that was a good reaction because you kind of have, yeah. It really sounds like you kind of just slapped in the intro onto the drop. If you want a melodic drop, you have to make it. You have to make the elements in your drop, like you have to like take this and just make each element in that drop melodic. That's how you make a melodic drop. But in this case, you're kind of just like being like, all right, look, the intro was melodic. I want the drop melodic. Let's just take the intro and make it the drop. You know what I mean? It kind of like causes problems because there's too much going on and like it's not really ideal, you know. Gonna be honest, that's kind of what I did. Hey, it's all right. Yeah, vocode or something. That'd be awesome. Also, great cover art, dude. Love it. Yeah, Mr. Last Disease, I like what you're doing. Your sound design is super unique, okay? I love what you're doing with this, like, super dungeony style, but it needs work in the sense, I think you need hi-hats, right? This drop, we're not going to talk about that. You know the issue. It's already been vocoded to crap. Yeah, oh, you know, that's a good point. It does sound like kind of like vocodey now that I think about it, but yeah. In general, I think hi-hats, definitely bring in some hi-hats to just make it more energetic. Just not really getting that all that much. Yeah, just some like simple like like crashes, hi-hats, whatever on the quarter notes, not necessarily just the kick and the snare. It would help just like make them like pretty prominent to where you can tell them apart from like your kick and snare and whatever. Like it's like needs to be pretty apparent, I think. But yeah, Mr. Last Disease. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's about it. That's about all I have to say. I think I've run through everything. So yeah. That being said, on to the next track. All right, up next we have Silvio with Color Tear Out, Work in Progress. Let's go. It's very grungy. I like it. I wish there was some like indication of like the BPM we were in, like some kind of like maybe like something I'd like to do with this kind of stuff, like these kinds of intros, is get a hi-hat. And let's just take this for example, right? So you're in like 140-ish, maybe a little lower. Yeah, you're like 140, I think. Right? Just take a ping pong delay and do this, like put it on the dotted note and get this. That'll just help you a lot with getting, like, indicating the BPM that you're in. Just a small thing. It would help a lot. Very fair. Thank you so much for the feedback, sir. Means loads. I got you, dude. No problem. Anytime. Slow bell up work perfect. I agree, yeah.
Color Tear Out.
Ooh. Okay, you've got the sound design. Now you need the drums to back it up. I don't think you quite have that going on. I like the snare actually. It's kind of a cool concept for a snare. The snare needs to be louder. Yeah, the snare just isn't really doing you justice. It needs to be way more huge and splashy and mega. You know what I mean? Okay, what I would recommend, Silvio, is taking some high-end out of your main color Terra bass thing, right? Take some high-end off of that and bring in like a bit more hi-hat presence, like just a tad bit more. But that way you're reducing the high-end a bit. It's a little bit much on the high-end front, right? So reduce some high-end and then bring in the hi-hats in place of that. Make sure when you add those hi-hats in that they're not impeding on the same space either. Like you want to make sure that it doesn't hurt, right? So be careful. I understand the whole off-kilter bass, but I think this is a bit much. I think it can work. I think it's all right. I think it works better at faster BPMs than it does like really slow BPMs. Like, I think you're at like 130 or something, or like 135. Yeah, you're at like 130 or 135 or something. It's super slow. So I see what you mean. I think you might have to move the bass in just a tiny bit. I think it might be just a tiny bit too slow to be having it this delayed. So try to move it a bit less delayed. I think that would help a lot. But yeah, really sick sound design. Definitely fix the drums, make them a bit more splashy, punchy, whatever. And yeah, as for the high end, yeah, I've already touched on this, but yeah, definitely do the hi-hat thing. I think you said in the chat you were gonna do that. So nice. I felt like these kicks were a bit out of place because you're not really like changing the elements. You have this kind of like grungy texture, right? But then you don't change it at all, and then you bring in these drums, and that kind of like, especially with them being super splashy or like super high-endy and like kind of punchy, you kind of need more elements to back that up a bit better. And in this case, there's not enough happening to be able to satisfy that punch. So yeah, that's about all I have to say though for this track. I really like the sound design on it. It's a very cool concept. Very nice. Mr. Silvio, thank you for sending this track in today. Very nice. Let's go to the next one. All right, up next we have Destiny with Binocular Whip number 2 with the Amogus Man. Let's go. Ooh. This picture perfectly fits this song. I just want to say that. It's great. Dude, it's so good. It's so like, it's just like super stupid and like just tiny. I love it. It's great. Like, you nailed the snare too. That's just like beautiful. I think I wish there was like in the first half it's fine, but I think in the second half you should bring in some hi-hats just kind of on the quarter notes. That would help a lot. But I absolutely love this is I'm gonna go ahead and hit. I wish there was a soft banger button. I don't have that, but here you go. Boom. This is great. I love this. It's just very tiny. I love it. The snare is a fast kick with a flanger. What the fuck? Yeah, it's just super silly. I love it. That's a great concept. Very nice. So just a fun little clip. Thank you for sending this in. This is just lovely. I don't really have any feedback other than the little hi-hat thing. Very nice. Let's go to the next one. All right, up next we have Hyena with, I don't know what this is, but it's fun. Let's go. Thanks. No problem. Am I tripping balls, or do you have like a... You have both a minor chord and a major chord playing at the same time, and it's kind of weird. You have that pad, which is playing, like you can hear it here, right? Right? That's playing a minor chord. Then you have that playing a major chord over top. Make sure they're matching. You don't want like both playing at the same time. Dissonant it is. I think you can have dissonance without having to have both a minor and a major chord playing at the same time. Like you can get dissonance while still being in key, and I wish it did that instead of this like kind of funky like layered major and minor chord thing.
Countermeasures enabled.
This is dope. There's a lot kind of I don't know if I'm a fan of like the a huge amount of sounds that you're kind of putting in that high-end-ish register. Like it works, but like it might be a personal thing, but yeah. Okay, there is a lot of things happening here at once. Okay, or not at once. Just like I think there's too many ideas going on here. There's like I don't know if it's a matter of taste at this point. I think there's too much stuff going on. Like I just can't keep up with all the sounds that are going on. Like there's like, you know, it's fine to have like a huge amount of sounds on display, but I think in this case you're kind of using them as like sort of main elements ish. It's just too much, I think. Like I think you could definitely tone down a bit on the like the extra effects and like craziness of it. I wish there was kind of more of like just one element kind of and like maybe like a texture, but that's it, you know. Yeah, and especially during this part, it's pretty apparent because you have like, there's just so much like sound design going on, man. Like there's so much, like so many new sounds always just kind of being thrown in, and like it's too much, I think. That kick is a bit weird. It sounds like it's like crackling, but it's not. And then that's like, I would get a kick that's a bit more punchy and like more something like this, I'd say. Like one of these, hello? One of these. Yeah, it's like something like this. You know? Try to find a bit more of a punchy kick rather than just kind of like a you know, like more like a that kind of thing. I'd say the sidechain is also too long, a bit too long.
Acquiring target.
Ooh.
Hostile entity detected.
Nice. Okay, again, like just slightly too many things going on at once. I wish, like, it kind of feels like you're constantly going somewhere with it as well. Like, you constantly have like risers coming in and like breaking things up, and like it's making the transitions work well, but it's also kind of you're doing it to a point where it's impeding on the amount like you can like actually enjoy one section at once. You know what I mean? It might be a bit just over detailed and like overly produced, I think.
Powering down.
But yeah, there's just so many ideas going on. Like, stick to what? Like, I'm okay. I feel like I'm kind of sounding like an ass here, because I'm like telling you a bunch of stuff about like what I think you're right. I like what you're doing with the ideas. I just wish, like, I'm not trying to insult you in any way, of course. Like, disclaimer at the beginning of the thing. There's just so many elements kind of always being newly introduced that it just sounds like you don't really have a main theme going on regarding your drops. Yeah. If each idea were cleaned up a bit, it could be like one of the best songs ever. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like any. Yeah, I don't know. Just I wish you took one drop idea and stuck with it, and like it's just overly interesting. It's like almost overwhelming. You know what I mean? Yeah, it just sounds like ADHD. Like it just sounds like every like 4 bars there's a switch up. It just sounds like that. Like keep it to like I don't know, like 8 bars and then switch it up. Like try to like limit yourself a bit, I think is what I think would help a lot. Like I think the problem is that each element is complex enough that it could have its own space, but it ends up being so cluttered that you aren't sure which element is for. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just too complex. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going a bit too on and on about this. So I'll stop now. Stream started 69 minutes ago. Nice. But that snare doesn't quite punch through enough, and I think it might have to do with like sidechaining. But it just doesn't really have that much like kind of like fundamental frequency to it. So yeah, Hyena, right? I think I've made it clear enough how I feel about the ideas, so I won't bother you with that. Mix wise, it sounds pretty good. I think
Powering down.
I think there were some elements just kind of here and there that are a bit too loud, that you cranked a bit too loud. So be careful that you don't like go over like the average volume of your track. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I think maybe the sub could be. I feel like the sub could be a bit cleaner in some areas. It sounds like you kind of have like a saw wave or something for the main bass, which is not quite what you want. That is the sub. Right, let's do this real quick. What the hell is that? Yo, ML Music with the 10 pounds. Let's go. Thank you. Yo, shoot me your track if that's what you're shooting for. Thank you so much, man. With 10 pounds. Big ups. Thank you. Right, anyway, try to shoot for a bit more, like if you're trying to improve your mix, right? This would help a lot, right? Try to get just like these 2 like peaks here. This is like the secret sauce to get that clean mix. Is like the more sine wavy it is, the cleaner it is. So if you have like super boxiness, then it's not really gonna be that clean. Like that, that's not very clean. If you like focus on like the volume of these two peaks, like that kind of, you'll just get a super clean mix off the bat. Kind of like that. It sounds quite nice in my opinion. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's no like mixing issues specifically, and I think that's good. So yeah, Hyena, cool track. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. We got a dono here, so we'll just go straight to that one. Thank you so much, man. Big appreciate. All right, here we go. Okay, that sidechain off the bat, right? That sidechain needs to like not happen. I think because you're using a rock song and you can't sidechain people. I think I said this last time as well in one of your tracks. And everything else is just really quiet. Like I'm at like max volume almost, and now I'm at max volume. Yeah, it needs more loudness, right? I'm also not sure about that snare. It sounds a bit weird with the reverb on it. It just sounds kind of unnatural. Excuse me. Okay. I wish you kind of like, at that point, when you bring in that dubstep bass, I wish you kind of stepped away from the metal thing and you transitioned into the dubstep. Now, I don't know where the track's going to go, but it kind of feels like it's going to go into a more electronic direction from there, so I kind of wish you capitalized on that and actually transitioned to a dubstep thing. Instead of like bringing it back to the guitar. Seems like it's going to go into a dubstep drop. Okay. Before we actually drop it, right? We need to kind of talk about the build-up, and that being, be careful with the transition. Yeah, the build-up, right? I didn't know when like the build-up started because there weren't any like risers to indicate it. You had these kind of risers that like faded in like this. Like let's get one of these, right? You have one of these where it kind of just fades in as such. Like it didn't come in until way later. Like let's say the drop is here, right? And then yours didn't come in until like here, which is kind of like bad. If you're in a build-up, you want to indicate that it's a build-up, and so I would start at, like your risers here, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a build-up. Drops coming soon, coming to a theater near you in 2022. You know what I mean? Okay, right. Let's focus on the drop real quick. Okay, so right off the bat, it's super quiet. Like it's super quiet, right? Like it needs to be cranked, and the sub is what makes this waveform look okay. It's just the rest of the elements just are super quiet. They need to be cranked, nice and loud. The snare, the sidechain is kind of weird. There's like kind of a lot of like small things that I would change a bit. It's not mixed. I mean, I see what you mean, but I can't help but point them out because they're so like prominent. Like I can't ignore them. You know what I mean? I gotta just say it, just in case you don't know it. The sidechain sounds a bit like short on the clap. I wish it was just a tiny bit longer. Not too much, just a tiny bit longer. The kick, I don't know. I'm not a fan of like the drum selection as well. It just sounds kind of weird and like muffled and not like super punchy. Like reference like some of like virtual rise drums or something. Like they will always have like a solid amount of high end and like mid frequencies and etc. Like, and it's both his kicks and his claps and snares or whatever. Like they'll always be nice and like full sounding. But in this case, it sounds like you have like a lot of like this frequency range, like here, like a lot of this, and like not like very much of this. And like, you know, like this is like okay, but like here it's definitely missing a lot of it. Yeah, and same that clap is also just weird. It sounds like you could just have like this going on, like a huge like a huge donkey clap. You know what I mean? So yeah. I like the songwriting though. I like what you're doing with the guitar. I also wish for like build-ups, I wish you didn't include like this snare, because it like in the drum kit, right? I wish it kind of just was like only kicks, because then it indicates that it's actually going into a different section and not a switch up. You know what I mean? Like it indicates that it's going into a build-up and not a switch up. You own a guitar? I have. Well, I don't, but my dad does. My dad is like very into guitar and bass stuff. Well, I like that snare. Yeah, like that's a good snare. That's a good snare right there. And with the right mixing, that'll punch really nicely. Yeah, just if I were you, I would just get rid of that kick clap. To be honest, it's like it's not doing you justice, man. I'll be honest. Try to find a kick that's way more like one of these like, you know, like a virtual ride-y kick or like phase 1 type kick. That would just help a lot. So yeah, ML. That kick is from phase. Oh my god, dude! Wow, that's crazy. I think you just need to mix it a lot more, and yeah, it says not mixed and not mastered, etc. It's just like such a contrast from my personal workflow. That, like, I would never like leave a song unmixed. So it's just yeah, that's just me. I would always be mixing stuff like as I'm going along. So it's yeah. Anyway, besides the point. Let's see. Change the acoustic. Yes, more or less. That's pretty much yeah. I think just the fact that the mixdown has like a lot of issues is making it more difficult for me to feedback the other stuff, that the actual content of the track, right? So I just keep commenting on mixdown things, and yeah. But yeah, in general, I liked what you're doing. Cool sound design and stuff. You've got the songwriting down for sure. And yeah, I think in general, just once you get like everything kind of sorted a bit better, and like, you know, like have massive drums and like, you know, you have your basses sorted out, it'll be very nice sounding and stuff. Mainly music production I'm looking for, like the riser was good. Wait, what? Yeah, pretty much. Got you. Yeah. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I specifically heard. So I hope that was helpful. Anyway, ML, cool track, cool guitar stuff. Like what you're doing. Let's go to the next one. All right. Wait, what is this? Oh, I forgot to close this. All right. Up next we have Frostfire with Blue Boa, the Siren. Let's go. Oh wait, that's the label. Nice. Congrats. Oh. No problem, ML. Best of luck. Alright, Dead Rabbit, peace out. Thanks for hanging. Very nice. Love this songwriting. I love how acoustic this stuff sounds. I don't know about that kick though. The kick has like a lot of sidechaining on it, and I wish that was reduced a bit. Yeah. And everything so far sounds super acoustic, so having that like electronic kick might not be the best call there. All right, friends, I must exit the building and go eat pizza pie. You have fun with that, Mr. Sir. Thank you for hanging out with the boys. That's really dope, man. That was really well put together. I think I wasn't expecting the drop to hit as hard as it did. Like, we kind of have this, like there's not that much high end here, right? Or, like, it's fair, right? But then we have this massive, like, screech, but it has a lot of high end, and so it's kind of like a smack in the face. It's a bit much. It kind of like hit me a bit too hard, right? So I wish there was a bit more like drum fills stuff kind of leading up to it that prepared you for the drop to hit as hard as it did. So yeah. Maybe my volume is also just too high. I see, but then in that case, I wish there was a bit more impact. Like, I feel like there wasn't a strong enough like initial attack base. It's kind of weird. Like, not enough grittiness to it. I like what you're doing with melodic stuff though, but I just wish it had more grittiness to it, you know? Super organic sounding, love it. Yeah, okay. Really well put together song. I like what you're doing a lot with like the way, you know, you're like slapping together a lot of like really nice elements. Like, it works super well. I think the drops are definitely like the biggest issue right now. This one had too much impact right off the bat, and this one didn't have enough. Like, just like, yeah, not enough gritty. I think in this drop as well, like, just not enough grittiness. It needs that. I did notice you have a lot of like samples from like sample packs from like Disciple Boys, right? You know, I don't want to like point that out, but I hear it, and it's like a bit. I gotta just point it out there. I know it's there. So yeah, consider in the future making your own stuff in the manner that you won't have other people pointing out, you know, hey, this is from so-and-so sample pack. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with using samples. If you use samples, that's all good. Do your thing. But yeah, definitely try to step away from it if you can to avoid such comments in the future. So yeah. Anyway, besides that, this is a really well put together track. I love what you're doing, especially in like the intro and the outro and stuff. Like, that's really nicely crafted yeah, like intros. It sounds super organic. It sounds like an actual band is playing it. So, it originally started with me playing around with a new sample pack. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah. Besides the point, very nice. And let's go see the next track. Greg, your track is broken if you are here. Shoot me a DM with your tune and then we'll go over it. Unfortunately, the link is broken right now. So let's go to this one. All right. Up next, we have Toxinity Music with Railgun Work in Progress. Let's go. Oh, that's you playing the violin? That's sick, dude. Oh my god, nice. Really dope.
Shut up.
Okay. There's a few things to digest here. Okay. First off, right? I was definitely expecting it to drop right there. I was like, where's the drop? And then the vocal was like super offbeat too, and it doesn't sound very intentional. If you want to make it intentional, then you got to make this vocal in the build as well, like super offbeat, and like have an actual like groove to it that makes it offbeat. But in this case, everything is like on beat, you know. So it doesn't quite work because of that, you know.
Shit back.
I would save that run that shit back vocal for like if you're doing like a rip. Okay, this is okay. I need to like collect my thoughts here. Okay, so if you use a run it back sample, let's structure a song real quick, right? So let's say we have section A like this. We'll color this blue, right? And then you have section B, which is switch up. And then you have section A happening again, and then you have a switch up here, section C. Okay, so section A, section B, section A, section C. Okay, right. So if you have these different sections, and you use a run it back sample like here, or here it would work, but you have it like here, like right here. And that doesn't make any sense in the context of like an actual tune, because what are you running back? You know, like running it back is like, you know, that you got to make the vocals make sense, because you know it works as like if you didn't understand the language English, then it would make sense, because or like you wouldn't have to have it make sense. But yeah, you get the idea. What's with my camera? Yeah, my phone camera broke. Something. I don't know what happened. Like my USB port thing just stopped working, so I didn't have enough time to restart my computer. Or like I figured out what was wrong with my camera by the time I started the stream, so I didn't want to like restart it. It's a whole thing. Basically, camera broke. I had to, and same with my fucking mic. It also broke. So, you know, I'm using this and this. So yeah, sorry.
Danger.
Down.
If I were you, Toxinity, I would just like remove the vocals unless it's like a pre-drop thing, and just try to like make your drop work without the vocals. It sounds like kind of just like I did this in one of my like super old tracks as well, like from like 2 years ago or something. Like there's like not enough or there's like you want to make a fill bass, but then you don't, and instead what you end up doing is you just kind of like toss in a vocal for the hell of it, and like to fill in that space instead of doing sound design and like filling it up that way. You know what I mean?
Down.
Oh, Gerg, you're here.
Switch.
Hey, Greg, your link broke. It says shoot me a DM with your thing. So put still fills instead of not like drum fills, but like bass fills, like like small little like sound effects, little ear candy thingies that you can just toss in to fill in empty space. You know what I mean? Instead of putting vocals there. Yeah, your link was broken. Be careful with doing offbeat stuff, because this whole time you've been on a quantized, perfectly on-beat 8th note pattern, or like kind of groove. You need to make sure that it's not doing that. You have to like be careful in that regard. Like don't like if you want to go offbeat, then you have to establish that first, and you're not really doing that. You're just kind of like what if we do some offbeat stuff, and then you're going into it. So yeah. Not much to say about like the actual bass design. Again, it's really pretty effective, like nice and gritty, nice and huge sounding. I think the sound design works really well. So yeah, you did a great job there. The structuring of the builds is just weird. Like it's like you have the here's this drop's supposed to be here, but then it actually drops here. I would just remove this whole that section. Just remove it. Like it's not really doing you any good. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. So be careful with vocals. Make them make sense, right? Like if you're gonna do if you toss in a vocal that says switch, then actually make switch. If you have a vocal that says run it back, then you have to bring it back to the original drop. Stuff like that. Yeah, make it make sense. So yeah. That being said, Toxinity. Let's go to the next one. All right. There's your tune, Mr. Greg. Let's go over this one. All right. Thank you. Up next, we have Greg with aka Muha with Poo Poo Farting. Let's go.
Yo, what up, asshole fingers? Fucking two in the pink, one in the stink. It's Brick, and I like to fucking eat cereal really fucking aggressively. I love fucking milk from cow titty, that shit.
Why? I need to ask you a question, Greg. Why do you torment us in this way, Greg? I'm
Big Changus.
skipping past that shit. Cool sound design. It's a bit mono-ish. Like I wish there was a bit more stereo in the whole thing. I'm also not a fan of those reverb sweeps. They like kind of become too loud, and like I don't know if you need them specifically. Like those ones, but like it's like a bit like I think it's a bit unnecessary and a bit like it goes a bit too loud. It gets a bit repetitive because like it's like 32 bars of like the same sound. So I would try to do like an effort to like specifically go in and change. Like you can keep the flow, but I would say changing the patch in a way that like makes it sound like nice and different. I think that could help. Maybe bring in like a riser or two, or like some kind of extra element, maybe like an ARP, stuff like that to make it a bit more interesting sounding. We'll refrain from the outro. I'm sure it's just a lot of the same drum loop. I'll pass. I'll pass. Thanks for the offer though. No, but Greg, I think you've got some cool sound design going on. It's very effective in the sense like it feels very melodic, and I like that about it. It's very yeah, well, I think it's well put together. Mix is also pretty good, so nice. Yeah, besides like a bit more stereo, a bit less repetition would help, and I think change the intro. Make sure, you know, it's your tech, but you know. Anyway, besides the point, Greg, very cool drop. I haven't heard much of the rest, but hey, that's okay. Mr. Greg, go to the next one. All right, up next we have Helion with Ferret.wave, practicing sound design, work in progress. Let's go.
Give us the ferret. Give us the ferret.
I think the sub is a tiny bit quiet.
Give us the ferret.
Oh, what? Yo. Pog?
Give us the ferret.
So one thing I'm noticing is it's like it's on a major chord, which is like fine, but the problem that I'm having is it doesn't feel like it's on the root note of major. So right now you're on like is that the exact key? I think so. Actually, so right now it's like, let's say you're in D sharp minor, right? It sounds like you're like here, or hold on. It sounds like you're just like on this specific chord in the major or the minor key. So it sounds like you're in this key, this chord, instead of like your own. You get what I mean. I think you get what I mean, right? It's like I wish it would resolve to the minor chord a bit more. It's that note in there. That note. There's that note in the resonator or whatever that is. It's like kind of there.
Give us the ferret.
Besides that, I think the transient on your snare is a tiny bit weak, and the body of the snare is a bit too loud.
Give us the ferret.
Yo, Aveen with a 169. Let's go. Thank you. Boggers. Appreciate that.
The ferret.
Yeah. I think the sound design is very cool. I like the fact it's like super like it's very flowy. It works very well. I think your arrangement in this sense is very nice. So yeah, nicely done. Let's go to the next one. All right, up next we have Gush Room with Catharsis, work in progress. Look at you. It's a bit quiet right now. Excuse me. Ooh. Nice songwriting. I like that. Yeah, I wish it was... Oh, excuse me. I wish it was louder. Have hiccups. Dude, your songwriting is really nice. I like it a lot. I wish the tail of the snare was a bit more stereo. Like while you're making it, what I do with my snares, right? I think you said in the description that you like followed one of my old snare tutorials. They're very outdated now. So like what I do nowadays is I get like a wide noise, and now what this is like the air can one from Serum. and I rendered 2 different instances of them and turned the random up, so that way these 2 are stereo. It makes a stereo effect. So it's not it's like instead of it being mono, it's now it creates a bit more stereo in the field, and it's quite nice. Also, the transient on your snare was a bit long, and the body was a bit too distorted, I think. So that's kind of like the way I differ with my snares these days. I think in general, just maybe like a chop snare or just like a bit more of a trappy snare would help a lot. Like would sound better than just like this like dubsteppy snare that you have right now. Yeah, Gushroom, you've got some really nice songwriting going on. You said you don't know how to make intros. I would disagree. That sounds like this is a really lovely intro, and yeah, this is like just well put together. I like it a lot. And yeah, like just a really nice vibe. I think you just gotta like mix it a bit better in the sense that you need to like pay attention to how loud each element is. So basically, I would say I wish the sub was a bit louder and like just the chords as well. Also, the kick is like super like it's not like knocky enough. It's like super like held back. I think you should get more like one of these, like something like that. So, yeah, stuff like that instead of like this kind of like kind of like kick. So yeah, try to find a bit more of a like with a bit more high end kind of kick. So yeah, Gushroom, nicely done. Let's go to the next one. All right, up next we have Noodlerin with Redok with Aviel, I think. All right, let's go. All right, I'm gonna do like this track and then like one more, and then I'll call it a day. What's behind me? Oh, gee, it must be this lamp, or this calendar, or this light switch, or this poster up here, or this chair. Gee, I'm shiver me timbers. I don't know about that like reverse snare. That's a bit weird. It's like a reverse drum loop, but then you're not reversing the hi-hat, so it doesn't like feel consistent. So that's why it's weird. Like you should have just a normal, either reverse everything or reverse nothing. It's kind of weird if you have like an in-between feeling in that regard. Okay, something else is like having a build-up that covers like an entire like 8 bars, and then like having a pause there. I don't. This is just personally something I wouldn't really do. Is like you have like an 8 bar, like I don't know if this is 8, but this is 4 bars, right? Let's say this is your standard 8 bar build-up. What you're doing right now is filling up these entire 8 bars with like build-up drums, and then you have this like 2 bar pause here, and that's like I don't know about that, Chief. Like I don't know. That's just. Like if it feels like you should be putting these 2 bars here instead of having like these 2 bars just extended from the build up. Like it doesn't feel like it's part of the build up anymore or something. I'm not a fan of that. I wish you brought in some more like symbols on like each quarter note. Like right now, it feels like it's in like 6/8 time instead of like, or like 3/4 time instead of like 4/4 time, because it's just like such like a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I wish it was a bit more like 4/4y, and then it's like a lot more like headbangable as a result. But right now it's just so like 1 2 3 1 2 3 that is just like a bit iffy in my opinion. Like that, it's fine to have that. Like, don't get me wrong, it's perfectly fine to have that. I'm just saying, like, I wish it had a bit more like flow to it in that manner. World style. I also feel like the sound design is kind of noisy, and it doesn't really have like that much like specific tonality to it. Like, it has it, but like not like, I don't know. I feel like it needs to have one central element that has like a lot of tonality and like a lot of fatness to it. But right now it's kind of like a few different elements that don't really have that much tonality, and like, I don't know. That's kind of what's lacking a bit. Like that's causing it to lack a bit of power for me. Dude, just put those rides on the quarter notes in the drop. I think that would just help so much. Like, I don't know. It came up just now. Yeah, I already commented on the reverse drums. I'm also just not a fan of. I'm like completely nitpicking here, but I'm also not a fan of like the kick clap kick clap click kick clap like that. Like you're alternating the two the whole time. It's like a bit weird because I feel like you should just kind of like layer the kicks and the clap, and that way you just have like a way more punchy way to build up your drum speed and such. Yeah, like that. I don't know, it's just not like, it doesn't have that like insane like punch to it that I feel like you're like shooting for. Like there's not enough like it's like almost there, but it's like not quite enough like drive and like fatness to it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think the main thing to take away is just the sound design is just too noisy. Like right now, the only thing I hear is the telephone bass, really, and like just some like percussive elements. But they're supposed to be the main bass, but that's not how it like actually is going. Yeah, so main thing, I feel like it would be better if it was a bit more fattened up, a bit more tonality to the basses, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah. That being said, Mr. Noodlerin, very nice, and let's go to the next track. And also, AVL, or however you say it. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. I forgot that it was a collab. Yeah, nice job, guys. All right. Last one for today, we got Twisted with Sativa Sharbat. I don't know. Sorry. Ooh. Nice. bit too knocky for my taste. I think a little bit of like a less, like a bit more of a trappy kick like this would help a lot. Drops. I hate to say it, but I feel like that like sound design in the fake out sounds a bit like a ketchup bottle being squeezed, like right there. Like I don't know if that's what you're going for, then you nailed it. But it's a kind of took me out of the moment a little bit. Took me out of the vibe. Like ear candy things in the build. That's nice. Okay, it sounds like you need to kind of pick and choose between triplets or eighth notes, because right now you're switching between them a lot. You have like, I think you had some triplet kicks. Yeah, you have triplet kicks in the build up, so that implies that you're going into a triplet switch up, right? So okay. Immediately that gets broken by the vocal because it's like, you know, 1, 2, 3, let's go. That's on eighth notes, right? So you need to make it either like 1, 2, 3, let's go, like that, and then it's on triplets, the let's go specifically, right? So pay attention to that. Make sure you're picking one or the other, otherwise you're gonna have like a kind of mess of grooves going on. Fill is also in eighth notes. The hi-hats are in eighth notes. That like little ARP thing was in eighth notes. So yeah, just go through every element and see what's in eighth notes, right? As I'm sure you would know, is like right, like the quarter notes are in common between triplets and eighth notes, but like eighth notes are not in common with eighth note triplets, so you need to be careful in that manner. This just excess low end. Yeah, Twisted, very cool. I like the vibe of this. You've got some really nice songwriting going on. Definitely pay attention to the triplets versus eighth note stuff. Mix wise, it sounds really good. I like just the like mid sections and stuff. Very nice. And yeah, you've got a very solid vibe going on. So nicely done. That being said, fellas, thank you for sticking through this absolute disaster of a stream. We had lots of technical issues to start the stream off of, so that was a bit chaotic. But thank you for sticking through it. Thank you for the donos today, much appreciated. Next stream, this will be fixed, hopefully. So yeah, I will do my best to get that sorted out. That being said, there will be, what day is it today? Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. We have a stream on Saturday. And then, you know, next week we're doing another feedback stream. If you want to submit to that, go to hashtag feedback stream in the Discord server on Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, check out the merch in the description if you haven't already, you know, shameless plug. And that being said, I'll see you all later. Peace out.